Hey there, YouTube. It's Petey Two Finger. I'm doing another video on the CT scan. Today was the day after, and I went to the bathroom. I was really scared I was going to have constipation issues, and it was fine. Now, I got to tell you, I made this video for people who are going to have a CT scan because I had one. I went on the internet and read all these reports of people that had really bad experiences, and I was terrified. It like literally ruined a week of my life. And then I felt so stupid when I went through the process. I do have some tips for you though. So if you didn't watch the other video, the only real update in this one is going to be like, okay, I did these steps and then the day after I didn't have constipation issues. And actually, like being in the machine, I'm glad I took the sedative. So if you can get a sedative, if you're claustrophobic, like I don't want to tell you like, oh, you need a sedative to do it, but I had one. My brother used to put pillows on my face and like smother me out. And I have claustrophobic tendencies. Like if I'm in a car and they make me sit in the back and my head hits the roof, I will freak out. I will have to get out of the car. I don't like being in cars. I don't like being in tight places. I need 18 inches of personal space around me, not 6 inches. If we're in an area and you're touching me, you're going to hear about it. I don't like people touching me. So if I know I sound like a baby. I know I sound like a big pussy. That's just how it is. I don't like people hugging me. So I got a sedative, and that was great. They gave me a little Xanax. I took that. And I don't take that type of thing. I'm really leery about it, but I was so glad that I had it. Because you're in this thing and it comes right up to your vision, and it's easy for me to have one of these, like, I want a bolt. I read a real lot about this, and the way that I chose to do it was I had the sedative lined up. We were going to be doing it at night. The day before, I reduced my food intake, and my thinking on that was, what I read was some people had unbelievable diarrhea, some people had unbelievable constipation. One guy said he had 12 days of constipation. Another woman said she had to get on all fours, and her husband had to give her a olive oil enema or something to give her relief from how bound up she was. So I went ahead the day before. I took 3 stool softener soft gels, and I just was chugging water the day before. Or I just had a little extra water. I had a reduced food intake. I had a little bit of cereal and a little bit of soup. And that was it. And the idea is if you drink this stuff, you have to drink 900 milligrams, almost a liter of this fluid. That's Bracco is the manufacturer. It's called Ready Cat 2. I had a vanilla smoothie flavor was mine. And like when I read about it, people were saying it was the most disgusting thing. It wasn't bad at all. Yes, it's got an artificial sweetener taste. Yes, it isn't the most pleasant thing. Yeah, it is kind of thick and grody. They told me do not refrigerate it. And my wife was real strict about no liquid. I had to stop drinking water. I saw another report that said you could drink water. And then on my paperwork, it said don't drink water 2 hours before. So reduced the food intake the day before, the day of, hardly any food. And the thinking behind this is if I'm going to drink this glue that's going to bind me up and give me horrible constipation, I don't want to eat a Thanksgiving dinner and then have to have all those poops, struggle to get all that out of me. So this was not doctor's advice. This was just my thinking. I chug-a-lugged the water the day of like I was drinking. And then when we got home, I drank some more water. And then this morning, I woke up. I didn't feel right. I felt bad in my stomach. I had pain. And I normally do have, there's something wrong with me. That's why I had this done. So I had my cereal, and then I went to do my bathroom time. And yes, there was extra gas. I felt all bound up. I thought, oh, this is going to be hell pushing this out. And it was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. So my advice, take it easy the day before on your food intake. The day of, really take it easy on your food intake. Chug-a-lug-a-lug-a-lug of the water. Don't worry about the drinking your smoothie. It's not bad. If you can get a sedative, if you're weird about claustrophobia, get a sedative. I had read, for me, in my case, like if you look at your prescription, it might say with contrast, it might say without, so you won't even have to worry about an IV. I had the contrast IV, and that's a needle they stick in here, and I had read when they give you the contrast that one guy said, like, he thought he was going to pee himself. He thought he pooed himself. He thought he was going to vomit. He said it was coming out of every pore. Now, I'm not that guy, and I'm guessing the person who administered it was a sadistic person and power slammed him with it. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, that guy's a P word. I really don't like when other people judge people like that. That's really, it assumes a lot. You don't know. Did the people that did this, do they have an antiquated machine? The machines they have now, they don't require as much stuff. It's quicker. Like, you don't have to have as much of the dye and as much as the stuff in you with these new machines because they've improved them. So the guy that did mine was a real pro. There was something that happened in the hospital that tied us up, and I missed my appointment by an hour. I had to wait an hour, and I was pissed. Thank goodness they gave me the sedative. Did I make a scene?
No.
I went to the bathroom probably 24 times because I had drinking so much water. I kept getting up.
I was just getting like, okay, why?
She was getting pissed.
Are we waiting for so long?
I have this little thing. It's a little video game. That thing is the best. It's got 200 games on it, and most of them are garbage games, like you can mow the lawn. But there's this one game where you're a little ball and it's space, and there's little blocks, and you go and you bounce off these blocks, and you have to find your way to a little hole that's glowing like a yellow hole. You got to go in that, and then you whip past the level. I love playing that little game. So get yourself something like that for the doctor's office. If you're 50 and you're going to go and have your colonoscopy, get something like that, or whatever type of handheld video game you can get. Maybe you can do it on your phone. But if you can play video games, man, that's the best thing to take your mind off it. So you're not sitting in the emergency room in duress, because you can distract yourself. So that's my advice to you. I got to tell you, I was terrified of this thing. And I don't look back and think, oh, I was foolish. I had every reason to be scared because if I wouldn't have, I never would have drank the water. I don't listen to the rules. When people tell you, you need to do this. Now I'm married to a woman who, her parents were like, her dad, like when she left, he was always like, lock the door, put it in gear, don't forget to turn your headlights on, turn, hit the gas, hit the brake, if you see a stop. Like, he would warn her, like, all this stuff. And so she's like that now. And she keeps me on a real short leash, which I need, because I'm just like a complete running off of the diving board naked into the pool of hot oil. That's me, my style. So again, I I couldn't have been more incorrect, couldn't have been wronger about being scared about this procedure. That being said, because I was ready for something so horrific when they hit me with the dye, I was so scared. I'm like, here we go. And I'll tell you what, it felt like somebody poured a hot cup of coffee into my mouth. Like my whole throat was hot. And my daughter told me it felt like alcohol to her when she gets intoxication effect off of, like maybe if she does a shot, like maybe her pores open up and she can feel heat being released from her body. So she compared it to that. So I was like, hey, it's a party when I'm in this thing. I was like, ooh, she was right. I'm drinking Malibu rum shots in the Hell Tube bar, a tube of terror when I'm in. This thing, they got a speaker and it's like, stop breathing now. It's really loud. And when he gets on the PA, he's like, okay, I'm giving you saline. And I didn't feel anything. And he's like, okay, I'm going to give you the shot now. And I'm like, oh God, here we come. And it was like 4 seconds I had to wait. I'm like, waiting for something really horrific. I wish he would have hurried it on out of there. Because the waiting was the worst part. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, okay, I feel. And he's like, what do you feel? And I said, oh, it feels a little warm. He's like, you're okay though. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So, of course, yes, drinking the Ready Cat is not nothing you would order. Okay, but it's not that bad. The iodine was probably the worst part of it. I could see how that would be scary for you if you're not ready. So thank yourself for watching these videos. And again, it may be more intense for you. Everybody's systems are different. I can't guarantee you that like, if you have an allergic reaction, what the guy told me is, the first time you have an allergic reaction, it's not that bad. It's the second time that it's bad. So even if it's the worst case scenario, it's not like it's going to be a really intense thing. And you're in the hospital, they can take care of you. So I'm just ecstatic that it's over with. And we got to work on some music here. I'm going to be making music with my wife, so I'm really lucky to be doing that. Now the question is like, what's the problem? Why am I having this pain? And can we fix it? So I'm not out of the woods yet. Anyway, you guys, thank you. I wish I could be of more help. If you've got something like this, you'll find going to people and talking to people about it, most people are they don't care, and they still try to minimize it. So you need to have someone that you trust and love that understands you to talk about it with. And if you can find somebody like me who's been through it, that's the best person to talk to. So I wish you nothing but the best in health and happiness. What I always like to say is hug your pets. I think cats have a healing thing. I really think that's true. If you can get a cat that'll lay on you for 15 minutes and pet it, and it's not trying to escape, you'll have like an afterglow from that you can feel. And well, I love Kita. He's a good boy. Hug your pets. R.I.P. the Gusti. I miss that cat so much. You guys, all the best to you, and peace.